President Obama is pulling out all the stops this week to make sure his voice is the one that you are hearing on health care. A national TV interview, a talk with Ohio factory workers, a union speech in Pennsylvania, a rally in Maryland, all that on the agenda. And for more now on the president's campaign for reform this week, I'm joined live by Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Karen Hunter. Karen's also a publisher and teaches journalism at Hunter College. And live from D.C., Amanda Carpenter is a reporter and blogger for the Washington Times. And a good morning to the two of you, ladies.
Good morning again.
Karen, I'll ask you first. Is there a diminishing point of returns on all of these health care speeches, or does the president have no other choice but to keep pressing on with them?
He doesn't have a choice, and he has to keep it going because the other side, they're not stopping. I just took a minute to look at the New York Times bestsellers list, and of the top 10, the number 1 book is Michelle Malkin's, number 6, Bill O'Reilly, number 7, Mark Levin, which is the political manifesto on how the Republican Party is going to run. Number 7 is a book by Dick Morris about the corruption or taking our country back. The mantra will not stop on the other side. Therefore, the president has to keep it going. And he has to keep the message about health care. And he has to let the American people know this is about them. This is about their future. And it's about bringing to them the things that they said they wanted him to do.
Okay.
So, yes, he has to keep it going.
Amanda, what about the White House? It now says the illegal immigrants would be barred from buying insurance through the exchanges that the government would set up under the health reform. Of course, you remember Representative Joe Wilson's outburst during the president's speech to Congress came when the president mentioned illegal immigrants. Does this mean that this outburst was unnecessary, or did it work?
Well, I think on some level it did work because it brought the focus of the debate over whether or not this plan will cover illegal immigrants. And a lot of conservative Republicans were trying to get amendments into the bill so that it would specifically prohibit this from happening. It was rejected by Democrats, and now the White House is making a move to say that we won't do this. And there's been a pattern of the White House. I mean, I'm not saying that Joe Wilson did the right thing and screaming out, "You lie," but the same thing happened with when Sarah Palin said death panels. She talked about how she felt death panels are going to be in this bill. She cited the provisions that would reimburse doctors to give end-of-life consultations, and then they said they were going to drop it from the Senate finance bill. So on one hand, they're saying that it never existed, and then they moved the next day to take it out.
Well, I find it interesting, Amanda, that Joe Wilson, even though he said the president lied, in 2003, he voted for a Medicare bill that would cover illegal immigrants and would reimburse states for covering illegal immigrants and treating them in hospitals. So now there's a flip-flop in this whole "you lie" thing out there when he himself voted for a bill that President Bush ushered through. So I just think it's a little interesting. I don't think it's about health care, really, that this discussion is really hinged on. So,
Well, let me address that, because there's this whole underlying theme. You hear it everywhere that if you somehow oppose the president's bill or you bring up something over whether it would address illegal aliens, that maybe you're a racist. And I think that might be what you're getting to in that last comment. Maureen Dowd brought it up in the New York Times column, and I think that's dangerous to say that when people dissent from the president in this whole post-racial era, that you're somehow racist. We're supposed to be pacifist. You can dissent.
I want to jump in here because it's sort of relative, because there's a new article on Politico, Karen. It suggests the president isn't as capable as his predecessors of inspiring fear in those who oppose him. Here's what Ben Smith writes, this on the health reform debate. Obama is certainly going to be pressuring liberals in his own party to accept less than they once expected, and conservative Democrats to spend more than they want. When this moment comes, Obama will likely find the power of reason is more effective when backed by a demonstrating willingness to crack heads. What the president's style, does that betray him in this debate?
What, his reasonable, very eloquent style? Which style? What are we talking about? And I do want to kind of hit at what Amanda said. It is racism, and the last thing somebody wants to be called is a racist, and I understand that. But I've never seen in my history, and I haven't been here that long, but, I did a little research, people yelling out in Congress, twittering on their BlackBerry. There's a level of disrespect. The man has been in office for 9 months. He inherited a record deficit. By the way, the last president amassed quite a deficit. He was handed over a surplus, yet there were no marches during the 8 years that he squandered our money and took us into an illegal war. So I just find it interesting that the same leeway isn't given to him. He's been in office 9 months to kind of do the job that he said he would do. And all of this opposition does seem a little weird.
Okay, I'm going to have to give the last word to you, Amanda, in all fairness.
Yeah, sure. I think that's an incredible double standard that was just laid out. We had lots of dissent and healthy opposition to President Bush when he was in office, and people booed and hissed during his State of the Union addresses. Nobody called them racist. And when people dissent from the president, the first move, because he's black in this post-racial era, should not be to levy that charge at those people.
Okay, guys, that's going to be the last word for this go-round. There will be more, I promise. Amanda Carpenter and Karen Hunter, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks.